So right out the gate, I want to make something very clear. First up, I said yesterday that the Warlock Stasis subclass is broken. Let me reiterate. Before I said that Stasis in general is broken. So before my Warlock mains think I'm singling them out, I'm not. But it does take a moment to play with some other broken builds to make us realize just how crazy every subclass actually is inside of Crucible. Today, guys, we're going to be taking advantage of the Revenant subclass, taking advantage of the Aspect Shatter Dive, and a number of fragments, allowing us to dunk on our enemies over and over. Now, I don't know who discovered this first. I have been hearing the term Drewski Dunk. Either way it goes, though, this is definitely a hunter find. This wombo combo activity is not something that I would have just stumbled upon, but my God, is it fun. Now, a lot of these clips you're going to be wondering, is this combo broken enough to warrant a nerf? And my reply to that is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Whether you want a nerf or not, it doesn't matter. And before people jump up and say, I'm trying to get a nerf on all the Stasis subclasses, trust me, I've accepted the darkness. I am the darkness. So a couple things we've got going on here with this subclass. First up, Shatter Dive allows us to activate a mid-area ability to essentially quickly descend and shatter nearby targets on impact. Now, not a bad little aspect by itself, but when you pair it with things like Glacier Grenades, which essentially instantly freezes targets in place, this is what allows for the wombo combo activity to occur for insta-death. And it doesn't matter if you've got one Guardian frozen or an entire team frozen. The Glacier Grenade combo with this aspect just equals straight death. It's quite a beautiful thing to behold. Now, the fragment that I was actually taking advantage of, two, and by the way, I'm not a hunter main, so if you've got some better ones here, let me know, but the two that I took advantage of on QJ's recommendation was Whisper of Fissures, which increases the damage and size of the burst of your stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target, which is what we're doing here constantly. Now, next to it, we went with Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal will temporarily boost your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystal increases the duration of this benefit. This is really nice considering we are taking advantage of our Glacier Grenade constantly. Now, one thing I want to add, the aerial game here is our friend. And even though I don't normally rock high jump, in this scenario, high jump is really nice. For some folks, you completely just jump off the screen for them. They don't even see you. Now, feeding into our synergy here is actually the exotic leg armor Frosties. Ah, yeah. The last time you've seen these. Now, a lot of these hunter exotics just became top tier in the sandbox due to its rapid cooldown exotic trait, which allows you to gain increased grenade, melee, and dodge regeneration while sprinting, just pretty much everywhere. Also, dodging increases your sprint speed. The main takeaway, though, is just having all of your neutral abilities at the ready, which is extremely nice. Outside of that, we are taking advantage of a few other things like momentum transfer and radiant light, as well as fastball, things to give us our grenade and melees back even faster, and of course, increase grenade throw distance. The main takeaway is whatever you rock here, it really doesn't matter. My stat split is actually pretty piss poor, but with Frosties, I pretty much always have my abilities at the ready, which kind of allowed me to free up my weapon choices. Number one, I wanted to utilize something that allowed me to sneak up on my enemy with a little more ease. That way I could dunk on them uncontested, which led us to the sidearm Rat King. This is another 300 round per minute sidearm, and if you got the Rat King catalyst for that improvement of aim assist and recoil direction, Rat King actually feels phenomenal. On top of that, you get a refresh there in health when you go invisible. So say you get a kill with Rat King, simply dodge, you'll immediately go invisible and get your health back due to proccing Vermin. Now, granted, this only works if you're utilizing the marksman dodge, which reloads your weapon, but allows for some good playmaking potential. And on top of that, you're invisible, which really takes folks by surprise. The only aggravating thing throughout all of this was originally in the beginning of a match, I would get good multi-kills and I'd be like, oh man, that was nasty. I gotta do that again. But then the enemy becomes smarter. They know they need to actually separate themselves a little more as to not get hit by the Glacier Grenades. And I found many scenarios on multiple different maps where enemies would just keep their distance from me, and my God, was it aggravating. Like, Rat King can only carry us so much, and if you've got no enemies that are pushing you, well, you're not exactly proccing Vermin and invisibility. So the conclusion is actually to have a quick swap ready to our high albedo. Am I saying that right? Albedo? This weapon actually comes with Surplus and Wellspring. Both of these traits actually work perfectly here with Frosties, as Wellspring actually allows us to regenerate our ability abilities even faster. Surplus is amazing, especially for weapon handling and stability. So think of this as like a pyramid of different traits, exotics, feeding into our abilities, and of course, we're able to take advantage of that due to just pure neutral game, and Surplus also reaping the benefits of having those abilities at the ready. But the real weapon of choice here for those enemies that do like to sit back, and I was getting quite aggravated with them, is of course Jotun. Did you really think I was joking yesterday when I said I wanted to bend Crucible over? I have every intention of making Crucible an absolute nightmare. And Jotun is one of those weapons that is the best at doing that. First up, it has a tracking fusion rifle shot that pretty much insta-kills upon impact. And of course, it does burn your enemies. The main thing is it's a tracking fusion rifle with no real cap on distance. And for enemies that like to actually sit in the back because they're tired of getting dunked on, Jotun is like the weapon for driving them away from each other. It's kind of amazing. I don't know what's better, this weapon or Cloud Strike. Cloud Strike requires a little bit of skill, a little more precision. So I would say for those that have potato fingers, like myself, Jotun's the best option. And you'll just watch your enemies, man. They'll just start scattering. Like they think they got a strat to combat the stasis dunk. And then all of a sudden, a Jotun shot breaks the sound barrier and starts to destroy teams. You'll watch very quickly that your enemies will scatter or die, one or the other. And before you know it, they're finally pushing you again, and you're able to continue your dunking abilities to your heart's content. With all this being shown, guys, is this build broken? As broken as I said yesterday about the Warlock build. Dude, it's all broken. Like, let's just be real. This is all crazy. It's nuts. And I mentioned it yesterday in the video that what's meta right now is stasis. And I know a lot of people are concerned that with that type of talk, suddenly things are going to get nerfed. I personally love this combo ability, and I don't necessarily think it's overly easy. To me, you still have to pull off a difficult combo that puts you in dangerous territory of your enemies. On top of that, the fun factor, man, I just can't hate on this combo because it is so much fun. And a lot of times I did die. You go in for that slam, you are left extremely exposed. And before my warlocks go, oh, he's just a hunter main. No, I'm not. And look, before we even get to it, Titan hands down has abilities that are just as game breaking. But this is the world we live in. It's mayhem. This is mayhem. Everywhere you go, stasis is wrecking the inner organs of Crucible. And I'm not here to say which way it should go. I'm just here to just pass along the message of how to continue this level of mayhem. If you have not dunked today, I advise you do so. This is a fantastic combination. Really, any weapon would work just fine with this. It does allow for some of the best counterplay against shotgun rushers, which is what I think I love the most. That guy that runs around the map, he only uses Fellwinter's Lie. He doesn't even know how to spell primary. This is a great combo to deal with that a-hole. Instantly freeze him, go in for the Shatter Slam. He'll be second guessing life. And I didn't include all the clips, but there was a cheater I faced last night. And I got to say, if there's one benefit to stasis, it is the best anti-cheat we have ever had. Most cheaters only know how to aim and take advantage of wall hacks. They actually suck with their abilities. One of the telltale signs of a cheater is when he pops his super and he can't even get a single kill. Stasis is one of the best counters to cheaters because you can instantly freeze them. It's like, get good, bud. Oh, what are you gonna do with your 100% crit accuracy when you're frozen? Not a damn thing. So Bungie might be kind of clever in this. Stasis is quite literally an anti-cheat in itself. Again, Trials would be the best representation of that. So guys, try this build out. Play with it, take advantage of it. Frosties is nuts with this. I definitely think it's the way to go, as you just get all your ability cooldowns on you at all time. Rock that high jump, throw some glacier grenades, and watch the multi-kills rain. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.